Hi, my name is Frederick Opagene, CEO, founder of JéGO Technologies, and serial entrepreneur, angel investor. Today I'll be talking about energy poverty and the negative impacts on the African economy, the African youth, and how JéGO is playing a role to end energy poverty in Africa. Currently, we're dealing with an energy crisis in Africa, um, energy poverty that is negatively impacting the African economy at large and the African youth as a result, which makes up a larger percentage of our demographic. In countries like Nigeria, uh, Ghana, Cameroon, South Africa, for example, who hasn't really dealt with that or have the infrastructure to actually deal with gaps in energy distribution. So this situation has led to a negative domino effect on economies, such as businesses having to pay higher, for example, between $300 to $700 on average for diesel and fuel to keep their businesses running. And as a result, these expenses actually bite into or impact your bottom line negatively. You're left with little to no margins or no margins at all. And for most businesses in Africa, you are talking about businesses that generate revenue or have to survive on a day-to-day revenue. And with these energy expenses, which have become more of a constant expense, you are seeing a lot of businesses that have no other option but to close, go out of business, and others that are struggling to make ends meet, which also spills over to the employees who, in most situations that I've come across in at some of these African countries, the employees don't get paid for months, haven't been paid for months. And now as a result, their families are impacted. And when their families impacted, it leads to desperation. And desperation leads to crime, which we all have been a victim of at one point or the other. So again, these businesses that are being impacted negatively by this energy poverty, energy crisis, and energy deficit in Africa at large are faced with situations that other countries that have more energy distribution or effective energy distribution don't have to deal with. So being an entrepreneur in Africa, in some cases, most would say is more of a bigger challenge. And if you can make it here in Africa, you can make it everywhere else. And I would also, in that same tone, state that if we're able to solve the energy crisis, the energy deficit in Africa, we're able to use that same formula and replicate that in other countries where it's easier. And in a sense, whatever solutions we create in Africa, it will be easily implemented or easily improved on in other countries like maybe America or in China, for example. At large, the African economy presents an opportunity for innovative companies, innovative technology companies like JéGO to come in and address the situation that can be scalable within Africa and outside Africa. For us at JéGO, we believe that e-mobility should be accessed easily by everyone, right? In America, you have cases where electric vehicle or e-mobility companies are leaving out minority neighborhoods, Black neighborhoods. I've been in meetings that have shown these stats and data. And it presents a business opportunity for companies like ours to address these minorities in America. But when you look at it in Africa as well, e-mobility is not of a core focus as it is in the Western world. And the reason why e-mobility is vital to the to solving energy crisis in Africa or solving the energy poverty is tied to electric vehicles. That's one of it, right? And being able to set up these energy stations that never existed before. At JéGO, what we've been able to design is something we call the JéGO Park Station that varies in sizes and can be implemented in different parts or different communities, whether it's the gas station, a parking lot, or a mall, near you. We are able to utilize bidirectional charging that allows the vehicle to get charged and also have energy distributed to the house. And also, in cases where there's grid instability, these vehicles can also sell energy back to the grid, store energy, distribute energy, and sell energy back to the grid. And then we also have our portable power stations, the solar generators that are compact, 25 kg, designed like a suitcase that can also charge electric vehicles and provide power to your house. At JéGO, we do believe that one of the most effective ways to solve this energy crisis is by building an infrastructure that does not rely on these existing grids. You know, we do see situations where utility companies are actually requesting for or searching for alternative solutions to distribute energy effectively. And in some cases, most of these grids are not being modernized quickly enough. Countries or cities do not have the funding to modernize their grids, to upgrade their grids to meet these growing demands for electricity due to an exponential growth in the electric vehicle space, which is not just vehicles. We're talking about freight trucks. We're talking about scooters, motorcycles, buses, shuttles, electric devices in your homes, AI related devices, and also even planes. There are electric vehicle planes. We have investors who have invested also in electric vehicle planes, flying cars. So the demand will continue to grow. It's not going to stop. And while the grid has to provide power to these vehicles at the charging stations, it also has to provide power to homes, to factories, to airports, hospitals, and whatnot. So it's actually important that we start planning ahead. And as an engineer, one of the things, and as a technology entrepreneur, one of the things that I've been able to do and what I believe is best practice is to plan ahead of the crisis, of the situation, anticipate what is coming, right? Not building the solutions after the crisis has started. You wouldn't be able to solve the problem at that point. You would be at mercy of that problem when you do that. So what we're seeing is a negative domino effect that's building up in Africa where the youth is being impacted. Africa has the largest youth population, I believe, globally. And everyone around the world knows this on the economical level and the impact of that, the positive impacts of that, and also negative impacts of that due to unemployment. Now, there's already a high percentage of unemployment, and then you throw in the energy crisis, that means those who are already making money from whether it's from software engineering, freelancing, marketing, the freelancers on Fiverr and Upwork and rest, their productivity, the photographers, the videographers, their productivity, their growth relies on how much energy they're able to consume to be productive and be connected, because you can't really have Wi-Fi without energy. As soon as the energy goes out, power goes out, your Wi-Fi and connectivity goes out. So in our case, we're not just solving an energy problem, we're solving mobility problem first, which is what we started with. Electric vehicle that can bring a space to you, move in spaces, bring services and businesses to you. And then we saw the challenge of the infrastructure challenge, which relied on having consistent, reliable energy for the vehicle. And at the same time, when we came to Africa, we saw there was also more than just the problem or the need for energy was beyond just the vehicles, also the homes. And then in our space, we all know that these vehicles are also moving batteries. And we also already have our portable batteries. And then we have our electric vehicle chargers. So what we've been able to design here is an ecosystem that feeds itself and also unlocks economic opportunities for communities, for countries, for nations, creating jobs, people being able to trade energy because these things can move, and also being able to store energy. A lot of these communities that have solar in Africa, what they've been able to do is build solar infrastructure that can generate and they consume. That's the report and research we've been able to find, is people are generating and consuming. Those who are able to store usually have to buy expensive batteries They also have to be replaced after some time because they don't have manuals or instructions as to how to utilize these this solar energy infrastructures properly. So JéGO also comes in there to be able to store at the moment up to 3,000 watts of power and also distribute that. And you could also move them wherever you need it, whether it's a home. You go on the JéGO Energy Exchange app. A person can request, if the owner is not using it, they can have that booked, reserved, and the runner, a JéGOer, delivers it to you without you having to leave your home. So now the owner is able to make money, the JéGOer makes money, and the end user also makes money. It was more productive because they have power that they wouldn't have had before. Now, would you look at that? And that's how we unlock economic opportunities in any community that we go to, right? Whether it's a rural or metropolis. We're able to bring in resources that didn't exist before, giving individuals, communities as well, the power to power their lives wherever they are. And that's how we're able to unlock economic opportunities and enable commerce utilizing clean energy. This is what we're building. We're building the future of commerce, we're building the future of energy, we're building the future of mobility, and they're all connected. By partnering with different organizations, we're able to contribute to ending energy poverty in Africa. And we have an amazing organization led by some African youths, Nigerian youths, called African Youths in Energy Network. And they're an inspiration to me as an entrepreneur in this space because the solution we're building is for them, and to see them united, coming together to end energy poverty motivates us, inspires us. And we're excited to be a company that's providing a solution that can partner with these guys to meet that goal and help Africa create more energy, generate more energy, so they can consume more energy. Because in order for Africa to grow economically, we need to consume more energy. In order for us to consume more energy, we need to generate more energy and store more energy and be able to distribute energy effectively. And we have the solutions for that at JéGO.